Welcome back to LivAnimated.com. Let's learn something new. We left off last time working with our rig, getting our model onto the ARTv2 rig, where we were skinning and weighting the hands. So let's jump right back into that file and continue working on that. Open up your last skinning file. So that's what I'm going to do here. Make sure you check your dates and you're on the last file that you've worked on so that you don't have to redo any work. So we left off at number 12. I think we were posing out the hands and creating like different poses of the fingers being splayed, fist, and the default pose. And what we're going to do is, because we knew last time we could mirror weights, we're going to make sure that all the bends and folds in the fingers look as correct as possible. Once we do that, this model will be good to go. We should definitely rig up the clothes too, but for right now, we're going to see how things look once we get the hands rigged. Once the hands are rigged, we can then start to think about skinning up the face. But before we do that, I want to make sure that we can export out this file and that we can see it in Unreal. Once we see it in Unreal and we know everything works fine, we're going to move on to doing an idle animation first. So we will get through the hands tonight and we'll see how far we get along with that. And if it doesn't take that long, we'll start posing our character to be more in a neutral pose for an idle. And then we'll use that, the rig pose, and export those out, get those in Unreal, and see how things are looking. So let's go back with our file. I think we were working on the right hand. We should be able to scrub through our animation. Yep, and we can see all the poses we put in here. There's our splay. And then we should also have our fists. All right, perfect. So to start this off, we're going to start working with these poses, the ones that we set from frame 40 on, to start blending out the weights and make sure everything is as smooth as it possibly can be. Now you can go in here and paint weights as well, but we are going to continue with what we were working on using the component editor. Once you have your model loaded up or your character loaded up, you're going to go back up to the ARTv2 that's on the start bar, the main top bar, and we're going to load rig creator. That should bring up our tools where we can go back to skinning the character. Yep, here they go here. We need to hide our joints, so let's continue to do that. Go to your show options, and then you want to hide joints. All right. Now select your mesh, and we can go right over into here. We got this at a 0.10, so that's not bad. All right, and let's go back here to our model. We're going to right click and go to vertex mode. And now you select vertices. You're going to see what you have selected and so on. So now we're back at where we were. Let's also go to your show panel and let's hide our locators. There are locators in here from the rig creation process that we're going to need later, but let's hide them for now just so we don't end up clicking on them or messing up anything. So we're going to look at our first finger here. I know we talked about blending all the way down to the knuckle area right here. So that's what we're going to focus on with the hand being down. You can press F after you made your selection and you can rotate around that selection. So we know this is the index proximal, which is this bone right here on the finger. So we're going to blend between this bone and our hand bone, because we don't have the metacarpal bones for these two. We only have the metacarpal bones for these two right here. So it's going to be the proximal and the actual hand joint that we're going to be blending between. So let's start with these three and blend these down just so they can be a little bit smoother. And they're already to the hand joint, so we want to go and select our finger on our right hand. So make sure you look at the suffix on here. And so now we're in our right hand, index, proximal. There you go. And let's just use our set weights so we do smaller values. And you can see how it starts to conform to the hand more, I think we need to select another joint or another vertice right here and do the same thing. So make sure you have everything selected on the controllers. And then there you go. So now what's going to be important is selecting, let's just select these three in the front first. And these need to go to the hand. So our hand is right here in the selection, in the skin joint selection. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to just nudge them up a little bit. That looks pretty good. Now, when we go back to our fist pose, that's where we're going to really start to see how things are looking. But for right now, we're going to get the fingers in a better state, and then go back to our splay and go back to our fist pose. So what you want to do is grab the vertices that's around the fingers, understand what joints you want to work with, and then start nudging the vertices around. It's almost like a form of modeling the character, but we just want to make sure that the creases look good when we bend our fingers. So now you can go into here. You can also, that's why we have keys. You can scrub back so you can make the best selection set. So we're going to take these three. And we're going to do that same thing once we go back to 40. And we want to not make this such a sharp crease right here. These are already to the hand, so these need to go to the index right now. And we will just nudge that. That looks pretty good. That bends pretty well. All right. Next thing we want to do is look at this knuckle. We definitely need to bring this back. So this is going to be to the middle, and we need to bring this back to the proximal for the index as well. Now this is a low poly hand, but it still works well for what it is. Oh, let's do a 50-50 on that one. For the proximal, we want to do proximal 1 and then middle 0.5, just so it moves correctly when we bend the finger. So middle 1 and proximal 0.5 on that one too. Let's take these two and bring them back down to the middle, just so we don't have those corners sticking out as far as they were. And that was two more. Do the same thing for that one. I want to take these three and move them back so we don't have such a long distance between these vertices here. And that's going to go to the hand. Do it like that. And for the fingers, this is why it's good to have, if you look at your finger, here, you'll start to see that it has like a ring around this way, a ring around this way, and one in the center. When you bend that, that's what helps the skin flex around the finger. You can almost see it's like an outline on the finger. I know my hands are ashy. I just got done washing them. The soap does damage to my skin. So with seeing that, that's why it's good for the topology to be a little bit more dense around the knuckle area, but that's totally fine for how this model is. This is a lower poly model, so it's all good. I just want you to keep that in mind when you're working on rigging the character, because your character may have a higher poly hand, and those are things you want to keep in mind. So what we would do is we'd have another ring of verts or segments here, and that's what we can use to blend back to the proximal in the middle, and we'd have another row here, which we can blend. But because this is lower poly, we just need to make do with what we have, and we want to blend as much as we can along these rows of segments here that has the 3 verts on them. So again, this one's on the middle finger, and we want to bring this to the proximal. And we just want to nudge it. Same here. We want to take these 3 and bring that to the middle. These are on the tip of the finger. All right, and then we want to bring these down so they're blended down to the tip of the finger. And so those should go down to the distal. 1, 2, 3. So let's mix it a little bit smoother. Yeah, it'd be great to have one more ring of verts right there, but that's a pretty good bend. We need to focus on the inner part of the finger now to make sure that's bending well. So if you look here, we need to blend some of these verts. These will go to the hand, our hand. That'll bring it in a little bit. These look like they got to go to our hand a little bit too. Yeah. So is this one. That looks better. That looks a little bit better. Might want to do these 3 one more time. This finger's looking a little fat right here. That's looking better. All right, so we should be able to bring these down if we put these more to the hand. Yeah. Oof, no, don't want to do that. Do these want to go to the hand at all? Minus. Yeesh. Yes, they do. All right. Let's bring this back. There we go. That's what was missing. This one can go back too. That looks better. So we need to blend these verts so that the crease isn't as harsh. It doesn't need to be all sausage-like or anything like that, but we need to make sure that it still looks as believable as possible to the eye when you start bending the finger. It'll matter when you start grabbing things with the hands. So this one should go to middle and proximal, index, proximal. Let's see, does the hand bring that down? It does. Interesting, interesting. Let's do a 0.5 on middle. All right, I'm trying to see the best way to get this looking better. If we do hand, we do one more on the hand, but that makes that finger super skinny. See what this does to it. No, let's bring that back. All right, looks like undos are not undoing. So we should be able to minus the weight value on that, minus the weight value on this. Let's make this a little bit fatter like it was. The finger does get fatter when you make a fist. It does take up more volume. Index, proximal, middle. Let's make this a little bit fatter too. I think we had this on hand. This is minus, so proximal on this. Yeah. Take up more of this volume in the finger. Do the same thing here. So I think it'll bring it down more. If we do hand, no, other way. There we go. Proximal middle. So that'll work. Let's see what's going on here. Things are starting to bunch up a little bit too much on the tip of the finger. So here, we can blend these with one another better. So right now that's to middle. Let's do this one to distal as well. Oh. What do we have selected? Nothing. All right. Now these moved again, so I think they might have updated late. Oh, is it a stray vert? Those are stray verts. Are they stray verts? Oh no, they're not. Interesting. Interesting. I haven't seen that do that before. So let's go back to our right hand. Let's do that. Proximal middle. Let's take this off of the middle. So we're going to proximal and hand. Yeah, that's what we wanted right there. Let's save our file. Let's save it as another iteration. I think I want to bring these down a little bit. Yeah, I think I want to do that like that, which means I probably want to bring the other ones up. See. What does that do if I do middle? Yeah, let's do a 0.05 for this so we can go at a smaller increment. Let's do hand for this too. I think I might want to socket it in like that. It might catch weird shadows though. But I don't want the finger to be... Yeah, I don't want the finger to be too thin. That'll look strange in its own if you do that. And this is without us using any deformers or anything on the hand. So I'm just trying to make sure this crease looks as good. Sometimes you have to make a decision based on your topology being the way it is and what will look best. Just making the best decision and will look best based off of the hand or the hand type poses you want to have for the character. So let's just get the hand off of there. That doesn't look bad. Let's do this hand. Proximal index 1. That doesn't look too bad. Let me see if I can move this one back down. That is on proximal in the hand. Middle and proximal. So we're just going to have to make a call on this of what will look the best for it. Oops, wrong selections. Just trying to sculpt this out a little bit. But yeah, take your time. It's all going to help out. The more time you put into this, the more it's going to help out when you start animating. And making sure everything looks good. Index proximal. That's a little too harsh. Let's see. Let's grab this one. That one needs to be brought back. So that's on the proximal. It's a 1. And that does need to be blended with middle. Okay, in hand. This needs to be blended with hand. One, two, three. Zero, middle, 1. Let's keep that like that. Yeah, I say we keep that how it is. If we go back and try to use the proximal and we do a 0.5, that doesn't look too hot. And if we add the hand, I think that's going to just be too much influence. And then that just looks wrong. So let's do that. Middle 1. Let's move on to the next finger. Now I'm going to try something a little bit different on this. I'm just going to select all the vertices on this ring. And then we're going to blend that whole thing over first. So it goes as a group. This is our middle finger. So it's middle proximal. That's what we're going to blend to. And we'll do close to 7.3. That's good. Let's mess with these knuckles a little bit. So I go to the hand. We want to try to get this row of segments to be kind of close to one another. That'll help with our definition. This one to go back to the hand. And so will this one. That'll go back to the hand. And this one will go down to the middle proximal. So we don't have that sharp point on there. This one's going to go, this is on the proximal, so this is going to go to the hand for a little bit. Give that a little bit more volume. And then we're going to bring these in. They're going to go to the hand as well. I think one was enough. All right, do that. And then on this one, we do the same thing to the hand just to bring those verts back a little bit. And then as far as the part at the base is concerned, that's a little much. So we're going to put this one to the middle proximal a little bit. This one we probably need to be to the hand a little bit, so we're going to do a 0.5 on there. And the hand on this one, we'll just do 0.5 as well. So when we move forward, we need to really look at what is really going on here. This needs to go to the hand. These need to go to the hand. Ring proximal. So this one we're going to put towards the middle proximal as a 1. And then we want to put that back to the hand, 0.5. I'm going to grab this one and the one next to it. So this one should be middle proximal. We do a 0.5 on that. 0.5 is a bit too much. Let's do 0.25, 0.75, 50. So we got a vert back here that needs to be moved forward. So we can go to our wireframe if it's hard to find verts, and then go back to our shaded view. We're going to do the middle proximal. And then let's do middle ring proximal. This face right here is connected to, is it this one? I think it's that one. Yeah. That's different. It's different. So we just need to understand where our limits are for this. See if we can bring this one out more. Take this one back. We're just trying to retain volume in the hand. All right. And volume in the fingers. All right, let's blend these up a little bit. And that'll go to middle proximal. This is middle proximal. It really blends this out. So we're going to do middle proximal on this too. Oh, whoa. No, we're going to do, no, just proximal right there. All right. Let's do some blending here. 1, 2, 3. We're going to blend that one up to the middle. Do the same thing with this one. Okay, and this one's going to go to distal R. All right, cool. Go to the next one. Save your file. Make sure you save often. So these verts right here all need to share in order to make that look right. So I'm going to start with the finger right here. We can start blending. And that's going to go, that's our ring finger now. Our ring finger is going to go to proximal. Okay. Spin that finger some more. That needs to go to not proximal. 0. Oh yeah. 0.5. Where's ring proximal? 0.5. All right, let's bring some of these other verts down. Looks like this one is to our ring middle. So we're going to go ring proximal. Oof, this one's in a weird spot. All right, yeah, take your time here. Try to find the vertices, get them in the right spot, move them around to where you see fit. This is the middle. We want this to be middle proximal, ring proximal. This will be put hand back at 0. I think we can use ring proximal, I believe, to get that same desired effect. Yep. It takes a little bit more. Takes a little bit more influence, but it still works. So let's go to this next one. Trying to get this vert over here. This is going to go to our middle, ring middle. These are going to go and get blended as well. Smooth that curve out. And then let's do one less. That looks fine. All right, we're going to blend these up. We're going to blend these up. Give a little bit more rounder look to it. And then let's worry about this top part of the hand. All right, for starters, let's go back up here and get this to match what we did for this one. So that is going to be, that's on our hand, but we want that to be on our ring proximal. Excuse me, late. All right, this one we're going to take back to the hand. Yeah, that looks good. Is that a point? That's more than a 0.5. Then we want to bring these back. And that's going to be our ring proximal. No, ring hand. Ring. So it'll just be hand, our hand. I want to bring these back. That's going to go back to the hand as well. All right, we got some straight verts in here. Hand. Hand. What else? Something else is back here. Let's follow these lines right here with their eyes. So there's one. There's another one right here. Okay. Let's go back to our shaded view. Looks like that's already to the hand, so let's zero that out. Yeah, let's do 0.5 that to the hand. And now we got these down here, or this down here. Let's see what that goes to. If you scrub back, you can get a better viewpoint of what is happening. All right, so I think this needs to go back to the hand. All right, let's look at this. That should be proximal ring. Hand. Oh, it's not selected. Let's do right hand. See what that does to this one. That's not bad. See if we can bring these back a little bit. Hand. hand selected. Looks better. Let's get rid of this too. That looks better. I still do not know. Let's put this one back on ring middle. Nope. Interesting. Let's put this back to 0.10. Interesting. Pinky proximal. What if we do ring proximal? That's not bad. All right, let's put that one to more to the hand, I believe. All right, we can focus on the pinky. Save your file, make sure you save often. So we're gonna do the same thing here. Just gonna be looking at the pinky and trying to make this mesh look a little bit smoother on these joint areas here, here, and here. So let's start with the larger piece, which is up here near the hand. And we're just gonna wanna bring those down a little bit. So right now it's on the hand, but we wanna go to our pinky proximal. All right, and now we wanna go here and add our pinky proximal. All right. This should go more to the hand. So we'll go, make sure you select it in here or it won't work. 0.75. This needs to be brought back. So it's gonna go to the hand as well. And then we got these guys. Yeah, there definitely could be some more verts in here. So put these to the hand too, just to make the texture looks like it's on here properly. It's close distances. And then we're gonna blend this mid finger here. All right, it's on the pinky middle right now. We want it to be on the pinky proximal. All right. Let's blend these together. 1, 2, 3. That's gonna go to the middle, pinky middle. All right, let's do this and bring these two. They're on the distal. Let's bring them to the mid finger. And then these are probably the same. Bring those two. That's on middle already, so this needs to go to this distal. 3 is a bit too much. All right, let's see about getting this point down. That point is, it's on hand right now, so it needs to go to pinky for a little bit. All right, thumb. Next part is a thumb. Let's look here, see if it's too angular. It is. So let's grab 1, 2. I think that's it. Oh, 3. Bring that back a little bit. We want that to go to the middle. Save it file. Now we should be able to check out the thumb real quick. And then we'll go back and look at our other poses that we've already created, and the hand should look a lot better. After that, we're going to do a selection set of the arms all the way down to the fingertips and copy and paste those weights over to the other side of the character. We're going to mirror them over at the vertex level. Save your file again, just to be sure. You can always version up as well. And now we're going to look at the thumb. All right, so thumb proximal is what that's on. So let's look at the hand, or there might be a thumb metacarpal. Yep. All right. Let's blend these right here too. And that should go to proximal. Okay. We're going to blend this one down to the distal for the thumb. 2, 3. That's fine. I kind of like the volume that it's getting here. Make sure these are sharing. This is hand R. Hand R. All right, save again. Let's go back to the beginning and let's look at what our poses look like. And then address it from there. All right, frame 10. Doesn't look too bad. It's nice and rounded. All right, let's see what the display looks like. That doesn't look too bad. This I don't like. So this might be a bit much. I'm just taking off some of the influence from the hand for this area. All right, now let's save our file. Now let's look at our display moving. That looks pretty good. Let's look at our wrist. I'll make sure we give that another look and make sure the arms are good too. So what we need to do here is go back to object mode and then go and unhide. We'll just do locators and joints for right now, just in case those locators need to be visible. And we are going to grab the wrist and set some keys. So we're going to go to 0, set a key. We're going to go to frame 20 and set a key. Yeah, we need to update this wrist. 40. All right. That should be enough. All right, so let's hide our joints again. Joints and our locators. We can go back to selecting verts. All right, do I have enough stuff selected? Let's reselect those. I might have selected something in the inside of this. All right, that looks good. So we want to blend this down with the wrist. So this is our right lower arm, and we want to do right wrist. I am looking for, oh, it's hand. Duh. It's not wrist. I was looking for the wrong thing. I'm like, I don't see the wrist joint on here. That's because it goes to the hand. Derp, derp. All right. So we want to blend this. And we're just going to nudge it. Let's do a 0.05 one here. Just because we want to nudge it just a little bit at a time. Let's do 0.5. Let's take these and blend this with the upper arm, or the lower arm. It's not too bad. Let's do the same thing with these other vertices right here. We're going to blend these down to the right hand. And we're going to blend the others back up just a little bit. And it's going to go to our lower arm. That looks pretty good. Save your file. Save it again so that we have our iteration of just working with the hands in the bag. But a bunch. So we'll do save as and just version up. So this will be 14. And we can still scrub through our stuff. So up still looks a little strange. Let's see if we can do something else about that. It's not too eyesoring, but it just looks broken a little bit. So let's add to the hand. All right, so let's put a little bit more influence on all these wrist. These are wrist verts. Okay. So we want to blend this one too, and that's going to go to the hand. Top of the hand, we need to blend a little bit more. All right, so that's going to be lower arm. That looks good. Should probably do one more. All right, that looks good. Yeah, there's no twist bones on this one. I don't put any twist bones in this one. So that's what I would be skinning that to. This is like it's caved in. What's that going to? Right hand. Interesting. So for our metacarpals, what we're going to do is we're going to save our file, show our joints, right click and go back to object mode. I think I need to I need to delete these keys on here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going in and selecting all the joints on the fingers because I'm going to go through and delete the animation that are on those joints. So let's click from back here and drag forward. And then once you do that, go right click on that time slider and delete. And then let's delete this 0 frame because we don't need to have that on there either. All right, looks good. Let's save. What we're gonna do now is we are going to look at the metacarpals, which are these right here. And you know, we put them in there so we can get this motion, get everything kind of curved over. We're gonna look and see how we're gonna weight that skin. I believe what we're gonna do is just take, for now, take this row of verts and put it to that metacarpal, take this row of verts and have it between this one and the ring finger metacarpal. And then this last one is going to be blended from the hand over to the ring. So it should be very straightforward. We're going to rehide our joints that we just had. And go back to our vertex mode. So yeah, so we talk about the rows for the metacarpals. We're talking about 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go on around and go up the hand. All right, that would be everything for the metacarpal. Also, these would be on there too. Yeah, that's all that would be on there. All right, so we want this to be, it's on the hand and it's on the hand, and again, I left it on the screen. All I did was select these verts that you see are yellow right here. So what you saw me just talking through, this is what I did. Again, this is unedited. This is just, you know, I'm just keeping as genuine as possible and real. So what I was talking through was selecting these rows right here. That's all I did. I selected these. I didn't do anything else to them. So take some time, select those. Remember, we're taking just the verts that are right here. So it's the ones right here, and right here. And we're going to take those and put that to this bone, this metacarpal bone right here. And what I was saying when I switched over to the camera was, it looks like, if you look at the joints under the vertex skin info, they're pinky proximal and the hand R is what's used currently for what these are influenced by. So we want to add, we want to make sure we go down to our R in the list, the skin list, skin joint list. Go to R, and we're going to go to our pinky metacarpal. And we want to do that. Let's do that at a 0.25. Let's do 0.5. All right. Let's go to our next row, which is going to be these 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and we want to make that to our, it's hand R, which is good. So we're going to do pinky metacarpal 0.5 from the hand. And then we also want it to be ring metacarpal at a 0.25. And then this last row in the center, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then that's going to go to our ring metacarpal completely. So we'll just do a 0.5 on that because that's the ring metacarpal and the hand. So now that we have that set up, let's go back to our object mode, save your file. Let's save another version of it. We're about to start moving stuff around just in case. So it's number 15 for me. We're going to unhide our joints. And what we want to do is we want to take this joint right here and this joint right here. We're going to set a key for those. And then we're going to go, let's go like 10 frames forward. And let's rotate that down a little bit on that one. And let's rotate this one down a little bit more. Right? The other thing that they do is they rotate a little bit. So they actually rotate. Yeah, it's so weird because there's so many little metacarpal bones in the actual hand. They're going to rotate on X. So we're going to rotate it on X a little bit. So if we set a key and we rotate on X, and then we do another key and we rotate on X, you can see what it did here. Let's go back to unshow joints. We're still in object mode. We can see it curved it down a little bit. So if we go back, so that's what it did, which is pretty cool. We need to do a little bit more blending, it looks like, for this vert right here. It's not moving at all and it looks a little weird. So we're going to put that one to our R ring metacarpal at 0.5. This one, ring metacarpal 0.25. 0.5. Look underneath the hand, see what that's doing. All right, this one needs to be 0.5. And as well as the next one over 0.5. Oh, it didn't take it for that one. Does this one have it? It does. All right, so make sure you go in here and select your actual skin joint that you want to skin to. Looks like it got deselected when I tried it again. And so this one's going to be on our ring metacarpal, and we'll do 0.5 on there. Let's do a 0.25 on the metacarpal. See, you get that nice curve in the hand now, which is pretty cool. All right, let's go back. And we need to delete our keys, and then we're going to copy and paste our weights, and then we should be good on the hand arm area. And then we'll be good. And then we'll go right into making sure everything's working and begin to export our file so we can test it going into the Unreal Engine. I think I might want to make that a different video, but let's see. Let's finish this first. So let's go back to object mode, show, joints. While we're at it, let's just show our locators just in case so we don't mess up anything. And what we want to do is select our metacarpal bones, and we want to delete the keys that we put on them. So now you should have no keys on your rig. Great. Let's go back to showing joints. Let's turn those off again. And now let's go back to our vertex mode. Make sure we're inside of rigging. And what we want to do is we want to select all of this right here. Ooh, don't do it like that. Do it like this. So select all those. And we're going to use our shift period. And those will start to creep up the arm. We're going to go up, just go up the whole arm. Select the rest of these verts manually so that when you do your shift period, it goes up in a uniform way. All right, and so we want to keep going up this arm. That's pretty good. Let's do it from there. I think that'll work. Let's do one more. Screw it. Boom. Got it. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mirror this. And then we can look at the other hand and start posing it and see what that looks like. Save your file. Save as another iteration because we're about to start messing with the skin in a big way. Just don't want anything to crash on the file you're working on, and you have a backup. So now what we want to do is we want to go to skin, and we want to go to mirror skin weights and open up the little box on the side. All these should still be set to what you had before. We are going from a negative to a positive instead of a positive to a negative, so that's fine. 1-to-1 in closest joint, that's fine. And then we're doing XZ. If you look at your axes, we're doing it over the X and Y plane. So what we're going to click now is mirror. Oh wait, you have to select what you had and where you're going. Make sure I'm doing this right. We might need to select the other ones too. I think we selected the whole thing. That's true. So select your arm. We're going to just do this again. Select your arm on both sides. And then let's make sure we have this even. So when we do our shift, period, it's going up the arm symmetrically as well. So I think we need to go up one more ring over on this side too. Check the back. 1, 2. All right. Now do your shift period. All right. So we want to do mirror. All right, it's done. So now we need to test this out. We can go back to our object mode, save, show joints, and let's just start bending the hands. Select these joints here. I'll bend them down all at the same time. Yep, that looks blended. Don't see anything crazy happening. Cool. Let's move these, see what they look like. Oh man, I'm not setting keys. It won't go back. Ooh. So these look a little off. It might look like that on both hands too. So let's set these back to 0. Let's go back to the other hand. Maybe it's probably because I was moving things around pretty sharply. You don't need to, there's not that much. It's a nice rotation when you have this motion. It's not like too extreme. It's very subtle. But let's see, when I move these down, if the hand, Yeah, it gets a little weird as well over here. So you're not going to want to use position. You're going to use all rotation for that. All right. Just checking it more. Okay. Just doing another range of motion test for the opposite hand just to make sure things look correct. And yeah, they're blended. Nice. Okay. All right, we're good to go on this. We can build our rig now, and that'll finish up this video. We can come back and work on the face. I want to make sure that we don't go too far ahead. I believe what we have here is enough to start animating on, and then we can go back and work on the face in a separate video. This will be the part 2 of the skinning, so we'll have this finished, or this might be part 3. I have to look at it and see. Let's save our file. All right. Once our file is saved, we can go to build rig. I want to save another iteration. Save scene. I'm going to save this one as save scene as, and I'm going to change the name. So this one's skin. So I'm going to do a control CTRL. Control rig. CTRLRIG. And I'll save this as a 01. Save as. All right. And we're going to do build rig. This may take a moment, so don't click all around like crazy or nothing. I'm trying to make sure there's no extra pop-up windows anywhere that can't be seen. All right, so that did not. I didn't see anything pop up for that. Let me make sure everything's unhidden. I don't think there's any joint limits. I don't think we met any joint limits. Let me see what's going on here. We should be able to just build rig. Let me unselect that. Maybe that's why. Oh, wait. I know why. Crap. Outlook. Or not Outlook. Sorry, Outliner. I think we hid. We have the underwear. Oh man. I think I hid something. I think I hid the other controls. Let me look and see what did I do. Nope. No, I don't see him on here. All right. Let's see if it's this then. There's my control, my joint mover. Oh, that does not look right. Okay, I want to reopen this file. Open. Let's reopen 16. Don't save. Might have to go back all the way to edit setup and then just hit it again. I need to clean my glasses. Ugh, they're so messed up. I should have brought one of my cloths out here. All right. Oh, and that's worse. Let's click on edit setup. All right, so everything is there. Now let's see if I have to just go through the full finalize setup. Continue. No. Yes, bring in this, import weights. Ah, crap. Well, let's just leave it like this. It might not be the updated weights because I didn't save updated weights. Interesting. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. Let's do skip. We can bring the weights over like we did before. We brought the character over and we did a copy paste. Oof, no, that doesn't. I don't like this. I don't like this. Let's do something else. Let's just open up this file again. We shouldn't have to do all that over. Open. Don't save. And I'm actually gonna, let's resave our weights out if that even worked. I don't even know if that worked up here on this button. Export weights, export skin weights. Yes, it does. Okay. So we're gonna export skin weights. Warning, file name, invalid characters. Brr. Uh-oh. I think I see why. Well, can I change my file name? Yes, I can. Female base mesh. Export weights. All weights have been exported. Perfect. All right. Now let's do build rig. That did not work. Let's do an open on this file again. And now since we have our weights saved out, let's do open, don't save. Double check and make sure I don't have anything in here hidden that's not supposed to be hidden other than her clothes. I don't see anything standing out. All right, here's our joint mover. Okay. Let's go back to edit setup then, since we have everything saved out. All right, we have everything there. We're going to finalize setup, continue. We shouldn't have to redo that again. No. And skin weights for these meshes. Import. Let's do an import. Let's do a build rig. Oh man, why is it not letting me build a rig? Don't tell me I have too many joints. Oh. Are there too many joints in the face? I didn't think joints were an issue. What is this down here? Oops. Show. Okay, everything is being shown. Here's the grid. This is interesting. This is interesting. It would look like this is breaking on me. See if these are correct. Yeah, they look correct. Man, that's weird. There's something happening. That's interesting. That's very interesting. New scene. We didn't save this. So 16, open. Don't save. This is referenced in. Oh, this might be busted. All right. Object mode. ARTv2. Edit rig? Nah, that's not right. So we need rig creator. And now we just want to build rig. Hand over mover, isolate selection. All right, man, now I gotta figure this out. This was working. I think it's gonna keep creating something. Root, R mover. Oh. Nope. I think it's gotta be all right. I think I might have to remove the namespace. I think that's what's breaking it. So we have a version of this saved. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to open our control rig version. Open. Don't save. I don't want to mess with 16. We're going to delete the namespace because it looks like that might be giving us errors of why the tool can't build it, because the name is just all funky with that that long double name in there. So we're going to go to Windows and we are going to go to General Editors. And then we're going to go to Namespace Editor. So here we're going to delete this. And we're going to merge with root. And now it just says female base mesh. What that does though, I believe, is it takes our reference. Oh no, it doesn't. It's still in here. Okay, so it just removes the name on the reference. So that should be fine. Let's also go here and export our weights. Export skin weights. Yep. Export skin weights. And we'll do export weights. Just in case. All weights have been exported. Build rig. It is set up. Finalize setup. Man, I wonder if this is a joint issue. That would be very interesting. Continue. No. Import weights. Build a rig. Oh man. All right, might as well do some tests now. So let's go back to edit setup. Oh man, I don't want to delete that though. Let's go back to open scene. Huh. Let's see. Let's open up number 19 on the rig. Don't save. All right. Finalize setup. No. No. Let's just do skip. Yes. Female base mesh. We're going to do 3. We're going to select everything. We're going to do a smooth bind. All right. Now that should be bound. Joints. Show joints. Where's the rest of the joints at? Are they in there? Let's see. They are. Okay. I think they're all in there. Perfect. Okay. So now we'll do build rig. Oh, man. All right. I think I might have to delete the face. It doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. Unless this is just broken now. That sucks. Let's go back to before we had the face in there. And the bones for the breastbones. It was like 15. Probably back further. Unless I need to update. I might need to update my stuff. Open scene. 8. Open. Open scene. Let's do 6. All right, let's see if it works with this, with less joints. We can always keep our skin weights from the other one. All right, so we'll do build rig. Yeah, that's not doing anything. What's this doing? What's this saying? No object match the name. So eyeball mover. Value error. All right, so let's go back to 16 then. Skin 16, open. Don't save. Oh, you know what? Let's close and reopen Maya. So I'm going to do that right quick. I'm going to close Maya and reopen it. So give me 1 second. I'm still here. Just waiting on Maya to open right now. My desktop is not clean. I got a bunch of files all over the place. All right, here we go. So let's reopen our file. Maybe that has something to do with it since we had so many versions open. So we're going to go to open and we're going to open up 16 again. All right, there's our character. Let's open up here. This looks fine. Okay, so ARTv2. We're going to go to Recreator. And we should be able to just go to Build Rig. Let's see what errors we got, if we got any. So it looks like it's the files, some files are missing. More than one object matches name. So we have, let's delete these locators. That looks like that's messing up stuff. Wait, what did it say? Now we're problem solving. More than one object matches names, arm one hand mover. Arm, not arm one, arm L. Hand mover, lock. Location, probably. So let's delete these three. 1, 2, 3. Delete. And then let's run this again. Oh, looks like it's making it. Let's delete all of those. And then we'll build rig. All right. All right. So there we go. So those locators that were made when we did edit setup. Oh man, so good to problem solve stuff. Oh, I feel like I should edit this video down and take that stuff out because I felt like, oh my God, is it not working now? All right. So those locators that we saw in there that obviously were built when we went to edit setup so we can start the skinning process, they are probably there as like a keepsake for the program so it knows the location of where things are. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. But from here in this window, we saw there was an error of a naming error. So if it kicked off for that first name, if we deleted that, it still kicked off for another name and it created more files. So we need to delete all those locators that were in our outliner. And from there, we're able to click build rig and we're good to go. We're still on file 16, so we didn't lose any of our skinning. Everything should still work. So now what you want to do is you want to click continue. This is just saying it's going to publish your rig to the location so you can bring it in to start animating on. And so what you want to do here is you want to go and set in the publish settings. You want to, I already have it set for female. You just hit this plus sign and you can put female on there. This was the test I did. That's how I knew it worked, but I didn't know that I needed to delete those all of a sudden. So what we're going to do is we're going to do base female mesh. And we'll do it like that so it's consistent. And then you just click continue because what it's going to do is going to build it down in here. So you click continue. We're not going to change our pose. I like the default pose to be at the 45. What this allows you to do when it's talking about the create rig pose, it's talking about going from a 45 to a T pose. You don't want to do that. You don't need to do that. Just know that every character you use, if you're trying to reuse rigs, you're going to want to make sure they all have the 45 and they all match. For any rig or any mesh you want to put on this rig again to reuse animations or what have you, you want to use this. I'm going to show you how to do mocap. Maybe we should do that just for the mocap so that it works better, because mocap still uses T-pose for their initialization. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. Let's click our left arm and our right arm. Well, I guess we could do one at a time. You do your left arm, and you can go out, and it should make it a T pose. There you go. And then right arm, and then you make that a T pose. So yeah, and you see, because our blending is already done really well, it still makes the mesh look pretty good, right? So let's leave this like this. Because when you do mocap, you're going to want it to be a T-pose for it to go well. And so we are going to have a mocap version or mocap video, so I can show you guys how to apply mocap to this. And so let's leave this like this, and we'll do continue. We're going to go skip. We don't need this to be cut up. What this does is cuts up the mesh. There's our picture that looks fine. We'll click continue again. Everything, make sure you check everything on here. You can always go back and change it. Base female mesh, fine. Project, sample, yes, because this is what my project is. But make sure you're in the right project that you want to save it in. Group, female. And then revision type is 01. You can change this if you start doing more revisions. And then you just do build. Give this a moment. It's going to build out everything, and then it's going to have a pop-up that tells you that you can start a new scene and do a new rig in that scene to test it. So it's just working right now, and it should be doing its thing. Thanks for putting up with the oh my god moment of not knowing for sure if this was going to work or not. I didn't have to delete those locators any other time before, so that's what threw me off. Yeah, so that was weird. So this is still working. It's 91%. It's gonna look like it's crashing, which is, no one likes that. But it should actually be doing its thing. It's 91% there. It's probably building out a bunch of stuff. It says something about the joint breast mover offset scale. I haven't changed anything on the scale of that, so hopefully it doesn't get hung up on that, because that would suck. But it should be fine. There we go. It's moving. It's 92% now. But yeah, this takes a moment. You just got to let it do its thing. I recommend not having things going on in the background or anything crazy happening. All right, as you can see, it says 100%. It built the FK and IK rigs completely. No postscript to run for cleaning up. Everything looks good. So what we can do now, it says rig build complete. All right, let's go new scene. You can close this. Let's actually just let's close Maya, because just to be safe, I'd rather close Maya. Oh, and there's my screen. Who cares? Click Maya. Got a bunch of crap on here. All right, so now we can go back and we can, when you're in your new scene, how you want to load a character. The way you load your character back in is by going to ARTv2 and then add rig for animation. Go to your project name is sample. You could change this to whatever you wanted back then, but go to female, go to base female mesh, add selected. All right. And now what we want to do is there's our character. Everything looks like it works. There's all our controllers for the face that we didn't rig yet, but they are there. Let's look and see if these are working. Yep. Oh man, so we got to go back and rig the face. We'll do that. We'll do that in another video. We should be able to move our character around. All right, everything's looking good. The next thing you want to do is have a picker. You can use the base picker. So if you click here, it'll ask you for a basic picker. Right now, we will want to build our picker because we're going to have the face. And by default, the basic biped that they give you with this software does not have all that integrated. So we'll have to build one. So we'll build one after we do the face. But for right now, since we don't really have the face integrated to be skinned to anything, let's just pick basic biped picker. And here we go. And so as you can see, it picks the hands and everything. So to look at this, all these green boxes lets you do selection sets. So you can do full finger selection sets this way. These are your metacarpals and these are your fingers. Or you can do full selection sets this way where it selects them segment by segment. Like, oops, it selects it based off of like here. What am I looking at? Here, and then this row, and then this row. Or you can do it where it's like all of this, and then all of this, and then all of that. So that's what these boxes right here are. This obviously is like your head, your neck. These are your spines and everything like that. By default, it gives you IK spine, IK hands. I like selecting S and then turning this to 0. That gives you full FK spine. And I do the same thing for the hands. So I can work in FK hands. Only use IK hands when you need to like rest your hands on things, pick up things. You want to keep things in the same place when your character is moving like this and you want the arms to move as opposed to the arms moving with you. So use IK appropriately. It'll help you get stronger knowing how to switch in between IK and FK. I noticed that a lot of people still don't know how to switch well. I'll be showing you guys how to do that in a video as well. A lot of people just animate with IK hands still because they don't want to deal with switching the hands. But what you get with that is a lot of floatiness that doesn't match the body motion. So you want to stay away from doing things like that and just learn how to switch it appropriately, and it'll make everything so much easier for you. So we switched these hands over, and so that worked. To go over some of these buttons on the side, since this is a new screen for our animation tools, you have your image up here. I already told you what the green boxes do. These select the actual joints. So this will be your picker to select what you need to rotate and what you want to do. All right. So that's what these do. This works really well for what it is. You go here, this will bring up another box where you can select everything. You select all your controllers, right? Selecting all your controllers allows you to do certain things with it. This is helpful when we're working with Studio Library and we want to select certain groups of the body and then save out certain poses or save out animations. The next button on here is your import button or your export button. The way you want to export is you want to click Add Sequence. Right now it takes your current frame range from start to finish, start to end frame. You want to go to your export settings and turn off export meshes and turn off export custom attribute curves. You don't need those exported. I'll show you how we get our export for our mesh that we're going to use when we go into Unreal. What you want to do next is you want to set an output path. So normally what I'll do is I'll come here and I'll have an export folder to make sure it's always at the top. Export folder, and then you just type in whatever name you want and click export, and it'll export out the animation for you. You can change your you only want to frame 50. Just change it there before you do it. Good to go. And then it'll just export frame 1 to 50 with the name you want, and there's your animation. The name for the animation will show up here once you type it in, when you save it or when you want to save it. This right here is good for if you made a weird pose and you're like, oh man, I can't get back to zeroing out, it's not working for some reason. Or you just want to go back and while you're making your poses, you want to start with your T-pose each time. If you're doing like a straight ahead animation and you're like, oh, I want to start back to getting here, so then it'll be easier to like go into my next pose, so I don't have to worry about trying to go from this weird pose back into this pose. If you just want to go back to your T-pose and go back, you can do that as well. This again lets you select all, and then in selecting all, it'll let you reset your transforms. I don't use these too much. The way I get mocap on is different than how I've seen people do mocap. They use Motion Builder, so they use a third-party program. I don't use a third-party program. I can show you how to set up everything with constraints, and this is a good way to get motion capture data onto any rig, essentially, and then bake it down, and then delete that control rig for the mocap, and you're good to go. It doesn't even matter what size it is. If you're trying to get the mocap on, the way we're going to use constraints, it'll just work. So this ends this video on getting everything skinned for our character, and we went ahead and built the rig as well. So because we went through this phase and we know that it works, what I will be likely doing is going back to my version 16 when I was still waiting and skinning everything, and I will skin from that as opposed to going back in this. So I'm glad you saved an iteration so you can do the same thing. You can also go back and skin through here, but because we haven't animated anything yet, there's no real purpose for you to do that. If anything happens where we're like, oh, we need to go back and skin this to it, then we will. But for now, you go back to your iteration of your file and update your skinning. So yeah, that ends this video. I hope you learned something new. This was fun. This was a little exciting. It's a little nerve-wracking getting into issues live like this. But that's where problem solving comes in, and that's where being patient and looking at what the real issue could be, and then taking chances. Like, if I was like unseasoned, I would have never deleted that stuff, and I would have just been stuck. I would have to ask someone, because I would have thought deleting it would have broke something. But sometimes you got to break things. You have a save file that you can go back to, so it's not a problem. And then you just got to take chances, and then you'll figure things out like that. So. But when we go back for the face for that video, we are going to go back to our version 16. So don't delete any of your files. Make sure that everything is named appropriately. And we're going to start from there. And then from there, we'll go and delete our locators, and then go through this phase all over again. And then from there, we're going to build out our very own custom picker file. And then we'll save that so we have it. So when we always open it, we'll be good to go. From there, that's when the fun's going to start. We're going to start animating stuff. We're going to start exporting and getting things into Unreal. And then we'll be good to go. All right. Thanks. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something new. Please stay tuned for more things to come. Thanks. Bye.